let your kids be a little bit dirty.
What?
Don't. No. I mean,
far
like
too fast these days, Magnus. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the world's greatest parenting podcast. This is Overly Honest Dads. Overly Honest Dads is a podcast that aims to give you a very honest, occasionally brutally honest viewpoint on what parenthood is really like. My name's Matt, and I'm your host. I'm joined, as ever, by my podcast pals Magnus.
Hi, guys.
And John.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been some time since we spoke.
It has been a little while, and I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping up top. Loyal listeners out there might notice that we haven't been posting quite as frequently recently, and that's because we have moved to remote recording. We're recording this on the first day of the second lockdown, but we moved to remote recording a little bit earlier because we could see that was a direction that things were going in, because there's lots of COVID around. So we're doing remote recording, but things will get a bit more regular from here on in. So we'll be back to weekly posting from now on, and we also will be changing the recording, the posting date for the podcast at some point. We're not sure exactly when that will be. That's all in the very capable hands of our podcast guru Magnus.
You calling me a mug?
Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. And to tell you about this episode, so I think this is episode 29 of our podcast, and for this episode we're going to go back to the format we had at the start when we first started recording. So when we first started doing Open Honest Dads, we tackled sort of a big subject every week, and we had a discussion, occasionally debate about some kind of parenting issue. And then once we got to the point where we were exhausting most of the obvious podcast episode ideas, we started to do segments where we would have sort of recurring segments every week. But it was always the intention that we would get back to sort of mixing up some episodes that discuss big subjects and some episodes that just follow the segment route. So we're back doing big subjects, and for this week we're doing parenting philosophies. So once we've got through dad news, which we'll do in just a moment, we're going to go round and tell you about our three parenting philosophies. We're going to do three each. We're going to go around the table, the virtual table, and tell you about our parenting philosophies. I think that for all parents, you can have like lessons you learn or approaches you take that will be individual to you, and I think it will be interesting to share what ours are. Hopefully they're different from each other. Hopefully we don't all have the same ones. We've not shared them yet, so it will be a voyage of discovery for us and you. But that's enough of me waffling. It's time for some dad news. So we haven't discussed who I'm going to throw it to first. So who am I going to throw it to? It's Magnus. Give us your dad news.
It's me. Oh, wonderful.
That'll be your face, neck and chest.
Indeed. Oh goodness, there we are. Yeah, well, since we last spoke, which was some time ago, things have been really in motion. I know that I was saying that she was changing previously, but we've had some
the
massive...
cat's mother?
Quinn, my dear daughter. We have had some massive leaps, I think.
I thought you said massive leaks for a moment then.
No, thankfully not. Well, I would say aside from, being well into the terrible twos, holy shit, she feels like a proper kid now. She's singing for enjoyment and in tune, kind of, within reason, though is unable to say all the words. That being said, she can say most, or at least attempts most trisyllable words, providing there isn't a rogue R in there. Yeah, it's kind of fun, kind of really, really sweet. Some of her pronunciations also are insanely good. Like off the top of my head, laptop, water, Saturn, auto, in Czech, konec, her babysitter, Tatiana, pylon as well, because we've got a lot of pylons around this end.
Pylon, furlough, just all sorts of random work.
COVID-19,
yeah.
Biden.
Novel coronavirus.
She now attaches little English bits onto the words as well, like it's a pylon, it's a mole.
Oh, that's
this
good.
Is a travesty. I know, it's crazy. She no longer has any fear of saying new words, providing they aren't made up of too many syllables. I did try and get her to say the other day electrical pylon, and she wasn't yeah, of course, she wasn't having any of it.
Bloody hell, man.
Yeah, I know. Also, you may remember from previous episodes, I said that she had a really massive preference for me, her father, as opposed to her mum, and that appears to be reducing, which is good. She's giving mummy a lot of love. Something funny she did the other day. I was working on the laptop, and she was next to me, having food, right? And I was facing away from her, and she goes to me, "Huh, Dada," like calling me. It was crazy. And then she pulls the evil face, which is like a Tony Montana face. So she got my attention. Yeah, it was crazy, man. She got my attention to pull a joke. So yeah, like things are nuts. But bike rides as well, they're great.
Oh no, you're not.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys will be happy about this, but that being said, some dickhead put thumbtacks into my fucking wheels the other day when I had it parked outside a cop.
Well done, man.
Well, the next day, Quinn grabs her helmet and brings it up to me and asks for a bicycle ride. And
cool.
She couldn't quite understand why she could not go for a ride, which was fucking infuriating and quite upsetting. Still cycling.
She's starting to appreciate it. That's good, though.
Yeah, she really likes it. She loves it. She absolutely loves it.
Why did that person do that to your bike? I don't understand.
I don't know, man. Like, my bike is a bit Larry. It's like all red wheels and black frame and whatnot. So yeah, maybe that's why.
Yes. Okay. Well, thanks for that, Magnus. Great to hear about Quinn's verbal progress, linguistic mastery. John, what have you got to say for yourself?
So, dad news. I've done the very dad thing, a sporting event that happens every 4 years where a father will stand in front of the TV and watch the American elections. And my God, that shit has given me a hard on. We're now sitting at 253 for Biden, 214 for Trump, but the race is still going. American politics is fucking fascinating to me, to be honest, because it's, in the UK, it's some guy loses his job in a school gym, as an MP, and here we're talking about, really cool statistics. It's all driven down into detail, and it's quite interesting to watch, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So that's been my sort of dad activity for the last 3 or 4 days. Besides that, it's been fun, but I've been ill for 3 or 4 days, and I've had to get a COVID test, which means we're all stuck at home, and the kids can't go to school, and they're pissed. Me. So, I got the home test to swab myself with, and it's quite an interesting procedure to go through, which is quite fun.
What is the procedure?
Oh, you got the swab, you got to put it on the back of your throat to your tonsils. And then you got to use the same swab and put it up your nose, and the up the nose thing is just so weird, especially when you're not used to having stuff up your nose. It's really annoying.
But what do you mean the same swab? The same end of the swab? The
same end of the swab goes up your nose.
Are
after
you joking?
It's gone in your mouth.
You're putting your throat balls up your nose?
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's fucking rank. I did not know that.
Yeah, and it was not fun.
Sorry to hear that, man. I hope you're okay. You're not.
I'm waiting for the test. I mean, I'm feeling better. The temperatures dropped off today. Yesterday was 38.4, but I have to say, temperature was dropping quite quickly after I took paracetamol and kind of felt better quite quickly, which is nice. Okay. But besides that, kids have been fun to have around, to be honest. The last couple of days, it's been alright having them here. But yeah, it's just, I think they're a bit stressed because they like going to school. It's their own bit of outdoor interaction they have, if you know what I mean. And now that this lockdown has become even more important, so to say. So there we are. What about you, Matt?
Well, it was Amelie's second birthday at the weekend, so we had had a nice day for that. My sister came along, and we went to the park, and it's nice because, as you were saying, Magnus, Amelie's language skills have come on an awful long way, and so she was saying, my sister's called Jessica, and Jessica's 3-syllable, not very easy to say, but she was repeating it quite often, and on the baby monitor at night after she'd go to bed, she'd just be in bed going, Jessica, Jessica, Jessica. So we had a nice birthday. She got lots of new toys,
So
and she's at an
sweet.
age now where she kind of gets the idea that presents are for her, and she gets the concept of it. I don't think she understood why she got presents on that one day and then didn't get presents on other days. Maybe that'll be something she understands more next year. Had a nice moment with her yesterday. So I was bringing her home from nursery, and she was very tired, and so I was having to carry her a lot of the way. Usually she walks, or we have the pushchair, but we didn't have the pushchair, and she was tired, so I had to pick her up. And I was kind of being a bit silly, and she just turned to me and said, "Silly sausage, Daddy." And I often call her a silly sausage, but I'd never heard her say it before. I'd be like, "You're a silly sausage," and she just like, I'd never heard her say it, and just to surprise me like that out of nowhere, "Silly sausage, Daddy." That was very cute.
I love the sausage thing, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Do you use it with your kid, Mag, or not?
We say a lot of things. I probably say sausage as well, but she has repeated some things that she shouldn't repeat, and we're getting the hint. There's nothing overly bad. Like she said, "Oh my god," the other day, and I'm pretty sure today she said, "Holy shit." So we need to, we need to sort that out.
Yeah, a bit like this podcast, we need to sort out all the swearing, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, well, it's not the F word I'm too worried about. It's your repeated C-bombs. They're not just C-bombs, they're like carpet C-bombs. You know?
By the way, if you hear banging in the background, is tonight the
Guy Fawkes
Guy Fawkes night, isn't it? So if you
is
hear
that
him
what it
banging during the thing, it's because my neighbours are just been popping off like crazy. So it's been going on since about 4 this afternoon as well.
I went to the shop to buy a couple of beers before we started recording, and I came back smelling like a bonfire. It's weird though. This is like I mentioned. This is the first day of lockdown. Going to the shop was the first time I'd left my house today because we're all working from home. And it's like it's dead out there. It is like proper lockdown again.
Yeah.
Like the streets are dead. And I quite liked it because
I like it.
One of the things I really loved about the first lockdown was just it was quiet all the time, and it was really nice. You have the streets to yourself. It's a nice feeling. But anyway, this is way off the topic of dad news now. So let's rein this back in. We will take a brief break, and when we return, we're going to talk to you about our parenting philosophies. So we'll see you for that in just 1 minute. Welcome back to Overly Honest Dads, and as I mentioned earlier, today's episode is all about our own parenting philosophies, and so we've come up with 3 philosophies that we all believe in that are central to our approach to parenting, and we're just going to go round in a circle, a virtual circle, and share what they are and discuss them, laugh about them, etc. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go first because I can actually roll all my parenting philosophies into one. Are you
Buy
ready?
expensive slippers.
So 3 philosophies in one. Live, laugh, love.
Oh, for fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
no, see, no, see, this is the bullshit I'm
You're
talking
such a
to you.
Karen.
What? Seriously, do you think that was acceptable?
Yeah.
Do you think that's funny? Because that hurts. I've
What?
seen that on people's walls before.
I know, I
And
think I'm
it's
pretty
ma-
sure my
it's-
mum has it on her walls. Oh, it makes you vom.
Cry, hate.
Romana bought that years ago.
Did she?
Something along those. Yeah.
How
She
are
didn't
you still
understand it, and
together?
I know.
I'd have dumped her right then and
It's-
there.
Yeah, I know.
Instant
Die,
rejection.
cry, hate.
She loves that wooden kind of rustic reclaimed wood shit that has like a white painted on logo on it, and I've tried to educate her, but sometimes it slips in, and you just gave me PTSD.
Dude, you have no idea, but I find all that shit around my house as well. The home is where the heart is, or the heart is where the home is, and all that shit. And then all of a sudden now we got fucking signs coming up outside of rooms, like there's a little sign outside my like bathroom. I'm like, oh shit, I used to piss in the garage. I didn't know I had to piss in the bathroom. If there wasn't a sign there, I wouldn't know where to piss. Like, for fuck's sake, why is there signs coming up saying, oh, this is the bedroom, this is the kitchen? Like, I know where I'm fucking going. It's my own fucking house. I don't need a fucking sign. It's insane. What the fuck? Empty bird cages with candles. What the fuck with that? Like, she has a fucking bird cage with a fucking candle in it. I'm like, there's no bird. There's like the candle. You never turn it on. What the fuck is the point? Oh, it's decoration. It looks nice. You fucking strangle a kitten for fuck's sake. It's ridiculous. Just
Now, I
absolute
don't know if
bullshit.
you guys can see this. If I just move this away, now I'm just to describe to the listeners, we can all see each other here virtually. I'm in my front room. behind behind me, just above the mantelpiece and the mirror, is what says, I don't know if you can see that, but it says home, HOME.
Oh yeah, I see.
In reclaimed wood. And that's Romana's doing. Like,
home.
I'm fully aware where I am. I know it's home.
Are you sure?
But she insisted upon putting it there. Yes,
Are you
absolutely.
sure you're at home?
Maybe she thinks that I'm an idiot. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's to remind me.
Mate, like the fucking signs around the house, it's insane. It just pisses me off. It really fundamentally pisses me off. It's like we got like a runner carpet in the hallway when you come into the house that's got like #family, #. I'm like, I want to piss. Like every time I come in, I've got muddy shoes. I fucking streak across the cunt so we get it dirty enough to get rid of it. I hate that runner carpet. I really do. Like, there's no need for it. It's all like #. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you guys so you understand the pain in my ass. It's insane.
Great.
Sorry.
Well,
lost my shit. Live, laugh, love. So yeah, explain your theory, Matt. Go on, tell us.
That was actually just a joke, because.
Oh, right, thank fuck.
Fuck. That wasn't a serious suggestion, but
an emotional roller coaster for that.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a reaction, and you guys delivered. So thank you for that. But I'll give you my actual first parenting philosophy, and it's something I've mentioned on here before, but it bears repeating, and it is to trust your gut. When it comes to parenting issues. So when you have a young child, like a very young child, and you're very new to it, you'll have lots of situations where you can overthink things or second guess yourself. And when Alex was in the late stages of pregnancy, someone that I was in regular contact with at the time, it's someone I worked with at the time, they just said, trust your gut. And part of me, I'm someone who overthinks everything. And so I was worried about all sorts of parenting issues before they'd even happened. And this person rightly just said, look, you can worry about things, you can think about things till you're blue in the face, until you've made yourself a nervous wreck. But when you're in a serious situation with your child, when you're in a difficult situation, often the remedy to it will come to you, and it will come to you in the moment. You'll instinctively know what to do. Obviously, you might end up in some weird situations where you don't instinctively know what to do, but thankfully I haven't had many of those yet. But I really think trusting your gut and not overthinking things is a good way to approach a large portion of your parenting life.
I don't think I can argue with that. It's pretty true, really.
Like
I'd like to think that I'm quite a logical person generally, and I wouldn't usually trust my gut. I'd like to, look at different avenues of thought. But when it comes to your kids, maybe it's because we have something innate in us. Mm-hmm. It usually is quite accurate. So I get those mums now that seem to think that they know better than the doctors. Yeah. Those ones. But there's an element of truth in it.
Yeah. And also, like, you can sometimes fall down a rabbit hole of trying to look up solutions to things online and end up, looking at solutions that probably aren't relevant, suitable, safe, or wise. And really, I think that this is probably a slightly different philosophy, but I think is just trying to keep things simple. I mean, that's along the same lines as trusting your gut, just not overcomplicating things. But yeah, that's my first philosophy. So Magnus, why didn't you give us your first parenting philosophy?
All right, great. Well, thanks for that, Matt. So my first parenting philosophy is that kids are fucking idiots. Yes, I realise I'm a broken record, but it's true. Prepare for your expectations of idiocy to be exceeded to unknown depths. Did you know, guys, that turkeys have been known to have been so scared of fluttering pieces of paper in the wind that they've died on the spot from fright?
Really?
Yeah. It's absolutely true because I said it. Now that is a level below kids,
Fake
but
news,
not far
okay.
off. Yeah. Also, guys, thinking about it, I think kids actually make you stupid as well. They affect you so profoundly in terms of sleep and relentless craziness that maybe they temporarily reduce your IQ and make you a bit thick for a few years. I don't know, but yeah. Going back to the philosophy, kids are fucking idiots, and I have nothing else.
Fair enough.
I'm not
All
sure
right.
I agree with that, but yeah.
All right, John, what you got for us?
So what I have got, and it's a philosophy I will stick to, is no means no. When you say no to a child, don't then get, stared down by them, "Daddy, please," and then change your mind, because the moment you bend on a decision you made, they will then try and push you and bend you on everything you bloody tell them. If it's a no or it's a yes, stick to your decision, because otherwise they will try and negotiate everything out of you afterwards. I've learned that after the first one, and definitely, like, don't bend, because the moment you bend with a kid, the kid will fucking own you, is the reality on everything. If you say no for something, both you and the partner need to be in agreement that it's a bloody no. Because otherwise there's the other thing that happens, which is, "Daddy, can I have this?" "No." "Mummy, can I have this?" "Yes." "Okay." Every time I go to mummy for that. So there needs to be, obviously, aligned leadership. But definitely, if you say something, stick to it, because the moment you bend, you're screwed. No, they have you over a barrel, is the reality. That's definitely a philosophy I stick to, because I've learned the hard way.
Do you ever have fun with it, John? Do you ever let them have an argument with you, and because you know you're going to fucking win?
What do you mean? No, they don't even argue with me. If I say no, they just realise that there's no point and they walk away. I don't bend. I really don't bend. I'm like horrible in that sense. So they know. I think they tried at the beginning, but now they know when I say no, it means no, and that's it. There's no argument about it.
I think they're going to chip away at you as they get older.
Well, yeah, if they're going to be pushing me around in a wheelchair and I'm dribbling all over the place, then yeah, obviously.
No, but when they
bend
come,
them, but
there's going to come a time when you've got 3 teenagers you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard, because I remember what I was like as a teenager. I was a dickhead. And most teenagers are.
I think we described teenagers quite vividly last time, and
yeah,
I can imagine you were one of those as well.
So yeah, I think that, you've got this level of respect from your children now, but I think it would be folly to expect that to continue into the teenage years, especially when you've got more than one teenager.
Yeah, I think the stubbornness is definitely in them from me, and I think it will be difficult when they're teenagers, definitely. And I'm not looking forward to those years. But for the moment, I say if it's a no, it's a no. And I honestly recommend anyone to use that philosophy, because otherwise you're gonna be owned by your child.
Yeah, but the thing
nobody
is,
wants that.
There'll come a point, right, where, and this happened to me, where my mum would tell me, that I could or couldn't do something, and if I asked why, she would say because I said so. And
No, you see, but you can't do that either.
Well, yeah, but that only goes so far. Like, at some point, you have to justify your decisions, and right now, you probably don't have to, because they just take no as no. But as soon as you have to justify them, and they're going to answer back, it's going to be an interesting situation for you all.
No, you see, but this is the thing. I like explaining it because I went through that. I went through the thing, because we're your parents. It's like, bullshit, man. Like, now there are, so quite openly, this has happened recently. Like with Chris, I said, "Oh, you have to go to bed." "Oh, but why do I have to go to bed? What am I? It's early, and yeah, it's a school night, but it's not fair because my guy I go to school with has goes to bed later than I do." And I literally sat down and said, "Chris, reality is mum and dad have MS. We get, what MS is." And I had to drop the responsibility on him and explain, like, when we get to a certain time in the evening, we are tired. It's difficult to look after you guys. And if you are up, your brother and your sister want to be up at the same time. So you need to understand that if we ask you to go to bed because we need you to go to bed because we're really tired. And I explained this to him, and he seemed fine with it. But he seems to be more grown up, and he is getting to that stage where he's questioning everything now. But I'm open to explaining. I think explaining things to kids is a safe thing. I think the thing that you said, "Oh, you're doing it because I said so," that's the bullshit that they pulled on me when I was younger. I fucking hated that, man. I really did.
Yeah, you don't win respect as a parent by saying that.
No, not at all. So
okay, so let's go around with the second of our parenting philosophies. And my second parenting philosophy is don't be afraid to ask for help or advice, I suppose. I think the reason I say this is because I think a lot of people go into their parenting lives and go through their parenting lives almost with the sense of pride. And I don't mean pride in the good sense. I mean pride in that you have an approach, and a lot of people stick to that approach, even if there might be signs that it's not working, or maybe there's situations for which your existing approach doesn't quite apply. And you can get situations very early in your parenting life. So when you have your first kid, and I think when you have your first kid is when this is most relevant, you might have issues to do with breastfeeding, to do with attachment, to do with winding, feeding, whatever it might be. And when there are problems, share them with people and get help. Now, that could be help from a loved one. It could be help from a friend. It could be help from a professional. I think we discussed in some of our early episodes how we got help with breastfeeding. We got a breastfeeding consultant in early on, which to some people might sound like an extravagance, but when you've got an experienced person with you, spending time with you, giving them the benefit of their experience, it can make you feel a lot less alone. And in those early stages of parenting, when it's your first child especially, you can feel quite alone. It's not like, even though you might be seeing friends and family, it's still you, your partner, and the kid just in it together. And that can be tough. And it's an old adage that a problem shared is a problem halved. And although it might seem a bit rote to say that, I think there's a lot of truth in it. So my second parenting philosophy is don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it'd be good to be kind of humble in your approach to parenting at times as well.
Yeah.
You're not born with knowledge, innit?
Yeah, for sure. We discussed earlier on running with your gut feeling. Yeah, for sure, but within reason. That there's people out there that have experienced things that maybe you feel are unique to you. So it's worthwhile, asking around, gathering opinions, taking what you need, being humble about it as well. Don't think you know everything. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, because ultimately, unlike me, most people don't know everything.
Touch your penis.
And, it's a shame, but it is the reality. So, Magnus,
2 degrees.
Magnus, it's your turn.
Right, it's my turn. Let your kids be a little bit dirty.
What?
Don't. No. I mean,
far
like
too fast these days, Magnus. What are you talking? I mean, we need to preserve innocence.
I did not mean that. Get your mind out of the gutter, Matt. Don't obsess over cleanliness too much. Like, don't fucking wipe their hands and face like mad. Don't reach for that wet wipe every time. Studies have shown that you're not giving their immune system a good trial run.
I think the Babies podcast, the Babies show told us that as well, didn't it?
I think so.
Exposure to germs for a dog, I think, was the example.
Yeah.
Very true.
Just don't let them eat poo, like John.
Yeah, don't eat poo like me.
Speaking of which, the company I work for, I'm working on a job which involves working on a treatment for fecal replacement.
Yeah.
I've literally got to talk to people about fecal replacement treatment. But anyway, I probably shouldn't talk about this on the podcast. John, what's your second philosophy?
My second philosophy is lead by example.
Ooh, good one.
Now, what I mean by that is that when your kids are growing
You're going to be a cunt. Sorry, go
on. We weren't going to use the C word, you cunt. What's wrong with you? Oh, look how disappointed Matt looks. It's amazing. He's so disappointed.
Do you know what we need to have? Like a cunt sound effect with reverb and delay.
No.
A T-Nook. Just call it a T-Nook. It's fine. Anyway, so the leading by example thing, and I mean this, is you can't expect your kids to do stuff you don't do in the first place. So I have learned that some automatically I've done because I've always done, and other things I've pushed myself on doing is helping around the house. So that now Christopher is 8 and Sienna he's 9 and Sienna's 7, and I can get them to do things around the house to help mum. Because it's difficult, just do that and to help mum. But if I don't do anything to help mum, they're like, yeah, but dad, you sit around and sit on a sofa all day and you don't help out. So now, I've always ironed my shirts. I've always done all the ironing because I enjoy ironing anyway, but that's a separate thing.
Excuse me.
But on Saturday, I now categorically say, Mummy's not doing anything on weekends. and I wash up the dishes, I do everything to make sure that she has a couple of days off, and the kids help out, and the kids then now Chris hoovers his room, Sienna hoovers her room, and then sort of kind of allowances are starting to come in with Christopher, and allowances are going to start coming in with Sienna as well. But it's kind of introducing them to helping out, so it doesn't always rely on mum. It's not mum that has to do everything, and mum, you got to pick up your own clothes, you got to tidy your own room. But if I don't do it as a dad, and I expect my wife to do everything, how are they going to listen? Well, dad doesn't do anything. So it's about leading by example, and that's really started to pay off, and I'm really starting to see those things kicking in now. So I really stick by that philosophy.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
So let's do our last parenting philosophy. So my final philosophy is actually informed by something I kind of noticed about myself over the last couple of weeks. So I noticed this when I was looking at some videos that we'd recently taken of Emily, and on each video, I was quite sort of loud and trying to get Emily's attention and not letting her sort of do her own thing, and kind of just observing her and letting her sort of live in the moment. So my final parenting philosophy is don't make it about you.
That's a good one.
Very
I like
good.
that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think that coming at this from a few different ways. One is certainly that if you always try and dominate a situation with your child, then you're not letting them express themselves or explore the world in the way that they should probably be doing. I think that we're like a lot of things, we learn by doing, we learn by being in the world, by interpreting what's around us. And if there's someone around us who's being like, look at me, look at me, look at me, it's annoying in any context. And it must be that way with kids as well. And surely we annoy our kids if we try and make things about ourselves. I this manifested itself in videos of Emily where I'm like, hi, Emily, look at me, look at the camera, blah, blah, blah. And, she wasn't really reacting particularly. She's 2 years old. She's not going to do that much reaction. But I kind of cringed at myself in a way. And I didn't really like how I interpreted my own actions on that. And also you could look at it from the perspective that some people use their kids as accessories to a large extent, or they define themselves by the fact that they are parents. And, being a parent it is special to you, but your status as a parent isn't particularly special. I'm not sure what the statistics are, but an awful lot of people have kids. It's not unique. It's not special. It's something that a lot of us do.
Very common.
Yeah, and fair enough. For some people, it might make sense to define their lives to an extent by their status of being parents. But really, if we want to be good at what we do as parents, then we need to make it about the children and realize that we're just a supporting role. They're the star. We're the supporting role. So,
but related to this, and I really, really like this point, Matt, because it's something that I used to do, but it wasn't so much what you were doing, as in being the main point, the focal point. It was directing their play. So I would. They should be playing on their own. They should be doing their own thing in their own way. And if they require assistance, then they will ask for it. You don't always need to jump in and direct their play. You don't always need to feel like you have to teach them how to do things, how to put, for example, the star into the star-shaped hole. Yeah, let them figure it out. And that was something which I thought was, a good thing to do, but it's not at all. They need to have their own interactions with the environment.
Indeed. Okay, Magnus, give us your final point.
Final point. So my final parenting philosophy is throw your kid about within reason. Yeah.
Okay.
But what I mean, what I mean is, no, don't launch a scooter at their head or anything like that.
We're going to get the NSPCC on our case here, Magnus.
Potentially. But what I mean by this is pick them up. Give them a good swirl about. Get that fluid in their ear canals, sloshing about. Now, I anecdotally believe it accelerated Quinn's balance and coordination skills, and it also made us a lot closer. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my philosophy.
Fair enough. Well, that I think it is fun as well to mess around. I used to do that a lot with my little sister when she was like 5 years old, and I was a teenager, and we used to do wrestling matches when I was babysitting her and stuff, and I can't wait till Emily is big enough for me to do that. That'd be quite fun. Like, I still have to be quite careful with her because she's very fragile as a 2-year-old.
Oh.
So.
Yeah,
right.
I can't body slam her, so.
All right, John, well, take this one home. Take this one home, John.
So mine heads around teaching them responsibility. I think that's key. You make a mess, you tidy up. Don't expect other people to do it for you. You know, everybody needs to take responsibility for a piece of something. Now they've learned to make breakfast for themselves because they like to get up early. So we sat there and taught them how to, well, I'll say my wife sat there and taught them how to make their milk, get their cookies out, and all the rest of it. And now they've divided responsibility on who's going to do what. And I think letting them take responsibility for certain things. And if you make a mess in your room, you tidy up your own room. No one else is going to do it for you. So you'd expect them that by a certain time they tidy up their room. And I think giving them responsibility teaching responsibility is going to be a big thing as they develop, because people need to learn to have responsibility, and it's what helps you to develop as a human. The more responsibility you take for things, the more you develop and you succeed. That's my sort of dad philosophy on things, and it's proven out to go quite well with them as well, so I'm quite happy with it. Thoughts?
Yeah, sounds sensible to me.
It does make some
no,
resilience.
I was expecting insults or something, and nothing. Damn. It's just
No,
like 2 degrees over there. I was
reasonable.
expecting you to rip into me, Matt. Nothing.
No,
It's ridiculous.
I'm feeling very peaceful today.
No, very nice.
Well, yeah. So that is the end of that section.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like we should do a bit of Am I Being Unreasonable before we round this episode out.
I feel so.
So how about we take a brief break, and then we'll come back and finish off with Am I Being Unreasonable? So we'll see you in just a moment for that. Welcome back to this final segment of the 29th episode of Overly Honest Dads, and it's time for a bit of Am I Being Unreasonable? So for anyone for whom this is your first time listening, Am I Being Unreasonable is a section where we go through some posts on Mumsnet where the posters are generally asking about issues they're facing in their lives, so they want to know if they're being unreasonable or not. It's very similar to the Reddit board, Am I Being an Asshole? Or Am I the Asshole? Sorry. And so we're going to read them out and then give our assessments on the scenarios. And the first one is from a poster called Love Your Advice, and the subject line is, Am I being unreasonable to think that furlough at 80% is far too generous? So let's read on. I'm just interested about what others think. I think fine to do this for the first 3 months, but really do feel it should be down to 60% or 70% maximum by now. People on 80% of salary with no travel or expenses related to working away from home are really not doing badly, especially since so much less to spend your money on. You could also try and improve your English with this extra time that you're being furloughed, but anyway. It is everyone else, I think, is having a tough time. Whether it's kids not getting free school meals in holidays, or freelancers, or those who've lost their jobs. I would prefer the pain to be shared. So if on furlough, yes, lots of free time, and yes, having to tighten your belt a little. Would it not be better to pay less in furlough? I'm thinking 65%. It keeps going down. And more to those who don't qualify but are having a very tough time financially.
Well, I agree with the sentiment, but I don't like the tone she's using. Two large mega companies.
You don't know it's a she.
They were taxed. So, is it a she?
Well, it's Mumsnet, so it's a fair bet.
Am I showing my bias here, John? But
no diversity, no inclusion. What's the matter with you, Magnus?
If you tax two large companies, it would pay for the furlough scheme in no time, and it's an argument for universal basic income as well. Like, people don't get paid enough in any case, and I think it's capped at 2,500.
Yeah.
Anyways, is that right? 2,500.
Yeah, it is capped.
Depending upon where you are in the country, that could either be pretty good or
terrible.
Okay.
No, it could be terrible in certain places. It's just
it could be. It could be. You know, I don't think it's unreasonable at all.
Yeah,
in any way.
Especially, we all live in London, listeners, and if you're living down here and you're paying rent, you are probably paying quite a lot of money. And if you are maybe the sole or the main breadwinner in your house and you're on furlough and there's not much else money coming in, well, 2,500 won't go very far here.
Nope.
And to some people, that will sound crazy, but it's the genuine God's honest truth. I'm not going to tell you guys what my rent is, but it's very high. I think it's fair to say that Love Your Advice is being a bit unreasonable in this instance. So these are some of these are very topical. So we're recording on fireworks night, and this next poster is called Lockdown Queen, and her subject line is it's just neighbor asked us not to do fireworks. So neighbor asked us not to do fireworks. And the post reads as follows. I'm in a group chat with girls on our new build estate. Why do you say new build estate? You don't really need to specify that. Anyway, I'm getting waylaid here. I'm in a group chat with girls on our new build estate. I sent out a pre-warning as hubby has gone and bought some fireworks. Everyone was fine and said they will be in their gardens to watch them. Then one of the girls asked us not to, as her dog has severe panic attacks. I don't know what to do. Kids have been looking forward to them. Am I being unreasonable to go ahead and do them?
That's a good one,
Yeah.
John.
I'll fucking do them. Just do them.
Right. Let's explore the morality here. On the one hand, you've got dog having a panic attack. On the other hand, you've got
How do you know the dog's
children.
having a fucking panic attack? Because he's breathing into a fucking bag?
Oh no, dogs.
You mean he's
generally
barking?
do.
The dogs only bark. They don't have panic attacks. They bark. Their heads
don't.
off.
John, you've not seen the videos, man. They have some serious meltdowns.
Look, I know that listeners
really
won't be able
bad.
to
And
see
they're
this,
not
but
fucking human,
This is
are
my
they?
brother's dog tonight, hiding out under a blanket because he's scared of the fireworks. So it's a real thing, you know. That poor greyhound, he doesn't know what's happening.
Oh, look at that cute little boy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So John,
Yeah, nah.
so John is in favour of canine panic attacks. That's what I'm
Yes.
hearing.
And not just that, is remember where you are in the food chain, and I believe we still sit on the top, and I'm not bending to a fucking dog.
Oh, God, no
Oh.
wonder you run over that seagull.
Yes, Magnus. That's exactly why. Know your place in the food
I
chain.
think that's harsh. No, if it was up to me, I would say fuck off to all fireworks. They're shit, and we can do
What?
drone
No,
displays.
they're brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
Brilliant
They are.
to
They're
watch.
shit.
Right, can I just read out another comment to you guys? So a poster called Brrr has posted underneath this saying, "Go for it. My son has panic attacks when dogs run up to him, but people still walk dogs every single day."
Ah, fucking yes.
That's a false equivalence. Like you're
That
not
is.
gonna.
That's not the same,
we're not
man.
gonna
Come on.
eradicate dogs just because someone has panic attacks. You know, we're not
Exactly.
gonna erase a species from existence
Exactly. Equality.
because of her child. But you know, manners are a thing. You know, it's. Well, I don't get myself worked up about this, but seriously,
I like this one. This is good.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want me to read out some more responses?
Yeah, I'm keen
please
to hear
do.
these.
Okay,
Ones that
so-
agree with me.
So someone called Bluntness100 says, "That's difficult. You should not have given a heads up if you were not willing to act on feedback."
Ah,
Good
very
point,
good
you know.
point. That is a very
So
good
it's-
point.
it's
You
a
mean,
very good point.
If you'd have just done it and not asked anyone, then you'd have been fine.
I would have just said you were invited to fireworks.
Guillermo Van Helsing, which is a reference to the very, very good quality TV show, What We Do in the Shadows, says, "If I knew it was going to traumatize an animal, I couldn't do it. I think most kids would understand that, to be honest."
Yep, I agree.
Um,
Simple as that. John, where's your empathy?
No,
Look so dead in the eyes right now.
I left a bat in back in catechism.
Awful.
okay, so this next one is from someone called Zoomarox. That's Zoomarox. And the subject line is, "Am I being unreasonable to not want to give my dinner to the dog?" So another dog-themed one. It goes as follows. "Lost it with my husband today and would like to know everyone's thoughts on this totally unimportant issue. Every time I cook something that could potentially have leftovers for the dog, my dear husband will intervene before I have too much or seconds because the dog could have that. At least 3 or 4 times now I've stated that I cooked it and if I want to eat it, then I will. Then comes a chorus of "Poor doggy, mummy ate your dinner," etc. I like your style. That's funny. Anytime I go out anywhere, I always, without fail, sort out food for everyone before I go. Today I went for a haircut. Made a shepherd's pie for everyone before I went. Got back for leftovers. Was starving, so just took the dish out of the oven and started eating. Dear husband comes in. "Oh, you're eating it straight out of there." Yes, I am, because I'm starving, I laughed. "Oh, I thought the dog could have some of that," he said. I said, then I said, "Not likely, I'm really hungry." Then he said, "But there was loads in there." At this point, I lost my shit. I literally had 2 mouthfuls of the dinner I cooked. In a totally melodramatic gesture, I put the whole lot in the dog's bowl so it was overflowing, while shouting that he had zero respect for me and that I am the bottom of the pile. Everyone else gets to eat their dinner, no problem, but if I have the audacity to eat the thing I bloody cooked, I get told it's not fair on the dog, for fuck's sake. I said when he starts cooking, he will get to bloody well decide what the dog gets.
That's joke. That dude is mentally ill. He's wearing her down. That is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Such a petty man.
Mummy ate your dinner.
Part of me respects his game, but at the same time, I don't think
Dude,
it's
it's not
fair.
right.
It's not fair.
I would respond
it's
calmly
not.
if I was her. I would cook him the fucking dog for Christmas.
John,
Give him and make a wallet.
John.
Just
this
cook him the dog. It's just
No.
like, oh,
John, this
Stop
is
it.
why?
Because people love
Oh,
dogs.
it's okay to kill turkeys
I love dogs.
and chickens, but it's not alright to kill dogs.
No, because dogs are class. Dogs look after you.
And
Dogs are great.
when would a dog die from experiencing a fluttering piece of paper in the wind?
Yeah, no, but the reality is like, I don't know. I just think there's such a worship for dogs, and I just think 30 years ago they were happy to sit outside and play in the garden and live in filth, and now they're in sofas and they have to have fucking home cooked dinners. It's insane.
I don't think there's a singular worship for dogs. Yes, some people are really into them. I think it's more so just a growing respect for all life.
Yeah, no, I respect. Oh, by the way, Matt, you're gonna hate me for this. I'm officially 1 month and 6 days vegetarian.
Really?
Yeah. So
Fuck you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. I'm not allowed to kill a dog, but fuck you because you're a vegetarian, John.
Oh, Matt, your face. Listeners can't see your face, like that horrific disgust. Like John was no longer your friend anymore in that moment.
I don't think we've been friends in a while, to be honest.
Let's just wrap. Let's get to the end of this episode, shall we? Right. So I've got one last post for you guys.
Sorry. Oh,
And I'm very close to
brilliant.
being vegan. The only thing is I like cheese, Matt. Otherwise, I'd probably be full-blown vegan.
Hold up. That's a step too far, John. We can't joke about that.
Yeah.
Huh? Why not? Saving the planet one meal at a time, motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's not how it works, is it? Anyway, this next one is from someone called Nail Girl, and the post is, "I have received someone's disciplinary letter by mistake." Reads as follows. "So I've opened my personal email account." I don't know why I said personal email account, because that's kind of implied. It is clearly nailgirl@gmail or whatever. The email says, "Dear Nail," and discussed details of a disciplinary for next week, and said, "See attachments." Panicking, I opened the attachments as, of course, my first name is Nail, except this is a whole different person, name, address, medical details, and document. OMG. The email is signed off, "Best wishes for your well-being, not my company, OMG." I emailed them back and said, "Nail Girl is not Nail Bon Jovi." I don't know why. Oh yeah, she's just using fake names. Okay, so I've emailed them back and said, "Nail Girl is not Nail Bon Jovi, as should have been obvious from the email address. I suggest you contact Nail Bon Jovi pretty sharply and tell them that her confidential disciplinary stuff was sent to the wrong email." Obviously, I opened the attachment due to the informal tone of the email that was addressed to me by my first name. I will be printing off these documents tonight and posting them first thing in the morning for her to address. I assume that this would be the right thing to do.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was all
that's
straightforward
messed
until
up
that
that they
last
made
bit.
such a massive mistake. I mean, they could be sued for that. That's insane.
But why did she take it upon herself to print it off and mail the documents?
I think because, to be honest, I would do the same, because it would give that person who the disciplinary is going against actually quite a bit of ammunition against the company. I would do it just for that, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, yeah. If you want to be altruistic in that way, I guess.
Yeah, you're giving that person a huge amount of ammunition because if the company has made that much of a big mistake under GDPR regulations, they're fucked.
For sure. But she shouldn't be admitting it.
Now,
to the.
there's an awful lot of debate underneath the post about whether or not you should print them out and send them to the intended recipient. I'd say the majority of people are saying that you shouldn't, but there are quite a few people that are saying that you should and that would be the right thing to do. But it's a tricky moral situation to be in. It's almost like finding out that your friend's partner is cheating on them and trying to work out whether you should tell them.
Yeah, true.
It's from the same moral vein, I'd suggest. But anyway, that brings us to the end of another episode. So I hope you have enjoyed your time with us today. A few bits of housekeeping before we wrap up. If you enjoy this podcast, on the off chance that you've not been completely repelled by our repugnant personalities, then please tell other people about our podcast. Tell your friends. If you've got a friend who's going to be a parent for the first time, tell them about this podcast. We sometimes talk bullshit, sometimes we talk sense. You know, if you talk enough shit, eventually you'll talk sense. And so hopefully we do. Subscribe, like, do that kind of stuff, review, you know, those lovely things. We have an Instagram account where John posts. Literally, these memes have not got any better. They are consistently shit. But you know, John, he tries.
Sorry, John.
He really tries, and you know, God loves a trier. And so so check out our Instagram account. Our episodes are on Facebook if you want to just stare at our logo whilst you hear our voices. Then...
John, are you okay? Are you okay? I can't see your full face. Are you upset? Are you crying?
No,
it's true though. They're really shit. Fucking diabolical.
Yeah, they're not. He's not wrong. They really are. We have
everything is shit. The logo is shit.
No, that was your not bad.
John.
The logo's not bad.
The logo. I'm having people take the piss out of me with that logo.
Yeah, but these are people.
I digress.
These are people that aren't putting themselves out into the world, and they don't have a creative outlet, and so they're pulling you down out of jealousy, Magnus. They're pulling you down.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Out of jealousy, they want to be a part of this, and they can't because they're not original like us. Anyway, so we also have an email address. Our email address is overlyhonestdads@gmail.com. That's overlyhonestdads@gmail.com. Send us your feedback, your thoughts, your questions. If you guys have questions, we can answer them. If there's anything that you want us to expand upon, why not? We will do that. We are here to serve you, the listening public. So all that remains is for me to thank you, the listeners. Thank you for lending us your ears. We really appreciate it. And although I probably shouldn't, I will thank Magnus.
My pleasure.
And
Thanks,
I'll
guys.
thank John.
Thank you, Matthew.
John hates dogs. See you later, everyone. Good night.